जया राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वदचारी यमुना तीरा वदचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना जमुना तीरा वदचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जया गौर Nitai Jaya Gora 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 Nitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev
Hare Krishna. So it gives me immense pleasure to introduce His Grace Ajith Prabhu, Evalo Roy is his name. So I'll give a short introduction. His Grace Ajith Das, he is a disciple of His Holiness Rompad Swami Maharaj, came to Krishna consciousness through ISKCON Chicago's college outreach program at the Illinois Institute of Technology. Later on, as elected VP of the student government on campus, Ajith Prabhu used to influence a massively growing the college preaching on campus while commercializing his patent pending technology side by side. His business flourished and so did the preaching on the campus, where he established Krishna House, Krishna Lunch, and Krishna Talks, attracting students from 40 plus nationalities, preaching programs in English, Mandarin, and Spanish, and made sure it was all funded by the university. Today, Ajith Prabhu, better known by his legal name Evalo Roy, is an established tech entrepreneur, investor, startup mentor, and 4 times TEDx speaker. He is also a guest faculty at 8 IIMs, 8 IITs, 3 IIMs, and 2 US universities. As the great-grandson of Sarojini Naidu, Ajith Prabhu continues the legacy forward by tirelessly serving the Indian youth through entrepreneurship, education, using lean startup methodology, and his principles of Bhagavad Gita. His efforts through Kolkata ventures in the past 5 years have resulted in 550 plus revenue generating startups, responsible for creation of 5,200 plus new jobs. Many of these entrepreneurs are practicing devotees as a result of his corporate program Philosophy Friday. He is an influential youth icon with 550 plus speaking engagements from White House panel to Rashtrapati Bhavan to TEDx talks and the Josh talks. He has received 150 plus awards for his contribution to the startup ecosystem in US and then India. He is on the board of multiple companies, universities, and government think tanks, including being the former advisor to the PM of Nepal. He is currently on the board of ISKCON News, trustee of Alfred Ford School of Management, Radha Desh, and advises temples in Europe, North America, and India on marketing, branding, and social media strategies. And you can Google Evalo Roy for more details on his bio. So we are very fortunate to have Prabhuji's association, and let's welcome him at ISKCON BCEC in our traditional style by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. We are so fortunate to hear from you.
Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnanajnashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shivutapadakamalang Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanutam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanatamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rab 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Brahmane Shatra Bandhuhi Grihapalo Nirupitaha Sakatham Tadgrihe Dvastha Sabandham Bhoktum Arhati Brahmane Shatra Bandhurhi Grihapalo Nirupitaha Sakatham Tadgrihe Dvastha Sabandham Bhoktum Arhati Brahmane Kshatra Bandhurhi Grihapalo Nirupitaha Sakatham Tadgrihe Dvastha Sabandham Bhoktum Arhati. Prabhus. Brahmane Shatra Bandhurhi Grihapalo Nirupitaha Sapatham Prahe Gvastaha Twandam Bhoktar Arhati. Mataji's? Okay, you want to do? Brahmane Shatra Bandhurhi Grihapalo Nirupita Antam Dvasta Sakandam Arhati. Brahmane Shatra Bandhurbi Grihapala Nirupitaha Sakatha Tadgrihe Dasva Sabandam Bhuktam Arhati. Mataji's? Brahmane Shatra Bandhurbi Grihapala Nirupita Sakatham Tadgrihe Dvastam Sabandam Bhoktum Arhati. Brahmane Shatra Bandhurhi Grihapalo Nirupitaha Sakatham Tadgrihe Dvasta Sabandam Bhokta Arhati. Translation. Brahmana by the Brahminical order. Kshatrabandhu, the sons of the Kshatriyas. He certainly. Grihapala, the watchdog. Nirupitaha, designated. Sa, he. Katham, on what grounds? Tadgrihe, in the home of the master. Dvasthitaha, keeping at the door. Sabandham, in the same pot. Bhoktam, to eat. Arhati, deserves. Translation. The descendants of the kingly order are definitely designated as watchdogs, and they must keep themselves at the door. On what grounds can dogs enter the house and claim to dine with the master on the same plate? Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The inexperienced Brahmana boy certainly knew that the king asked for water from his father and that the father did not respond. He tried to explain away his father's inhospitality in an impertinent manner befitting of an uncultured boy. He was not at all sorry for the king's not being well received. On the contrary, he justified the wrong act in a way characteristic of the Brahmanas of Kali Yuga. He compared the king to a watchdog, and so it was wrong for the king to enter the home of a Brahmana and ask for water from the same pot. The dog is certainly reared by its master, but that does not mean that the dog shall claim to dine and drink from the same pot. This mentality of false prestige is the cause of downfall of the perfect social order. And we can see that in the beginning it was started by the inexperienced son of a Brahmana, as the dog is never allowed to enter within the room and the hearth, although it is reared by the master. Similarly, according to Shringi, the king had no right to enter the house of Shamika Rishi. According to the boy's opinion, the king was on the wrong side and not his father, and thus he justified his silent father. Hare Krishna. I'll just continue. Very honored and fortunate to be in Pune. This is my first time in Pune. I've heard the glories of Radhesham Prabhu and all of you, those who follow in his footsteps. I've heard you guys are very, very strict. So when I was standing there and chanting, I was thinking, what qualification do I have to come and speak? I asked Prabhuji, who am I speaking with? They said these devotees have dedicated their lives for the last 8 years. I'm like, wow, very advanced devotees. So I'm not sure I can speak something that you don't already know. But I'll beg for your blessings so that I can say something that maybe inspires you and connects you to Krishna's lotus feet a little deeper. So you heard my bio, and I don't fit in the typical ISKCON box where we don't associate with non-devotees. I'm constantly associating with those who are not devotees at all. And there was actually a Hare Krishna TV interview of me called Ek Mulaqat Krishna Bhakt Ke Saath. Has anybody seen that? A couple of you have seen, yeah. So and we talked a lot about this, that how can you be a venture capitalist, an entrepreneur, being in the corporate world, and how do you balance both? I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not a pure devotee. So I was a non-devotee a few years ago. So I can relate to them very, very well. And second of all, it's not about taking association. So giving association. And you won't believe me, I got at least 200 phone calls, messages, WhatsApps from around the world, Hindi-speaking devotees, asking me the same question over and over and over again. But Prabhuji, wo to non-devotees hai, wo to karmi hai. So what happens, I was just connecting these two, that the same thing this Brahmana boy has, right? This is the beginning of Kali Yuga where the Brahmanas start degrading. And if you look at us, it's not very different. A lot of times, I'm not talking about you, I'm talking about myself, that when the Brahmanical tendency comes to us, thanks to the Guru, Vaishnava, the mentors, whoever has brought us to Krishna consciousness, by their mercy, somehow we start chanting, somehow our consciousness evolves, and we see ourselves being clean, following the 4 regs, being in an environment, that is sattvic, eating sattvic food, and we start seeing the Brahmanical qualities evolving within us. And then we look around the world and we're like, I'm better than them, right? And then the Shringi mentality comes in when we start comparing. Does anybody know what the name for that is? Yeah, judgment. Sattvic ahankar, right? And, we have a lot of that. I see that, where I hear the word karmi, right? Oh, those people, oh, the outsiders, right? I remember my mentor and I was staying very close to the temple in Chicago, and one of my neighbors, his brother, 21-year-old boy, he was diabetic, so he had a combination of pizza and some other medicine. and he died within 6 hours. It was very sad, tragic. They were Hindu people, from Fiji. They called up the Hare Krishna temple. Generally, this thing was, you call the Hare Krishna temple, nobody picks up, my cell phone rings. Because I always pick up, right? So my phone rang and I picked up. It's like, Prabhuji, this happened, my brother, I would love anybody to come from the temple and speak Bhagavad Gita. So my mentor and I went to their home. And everybody was like crying mode. The mother just arrived from Fiji. She was crying. And these are all IIT Kanpur graduates. Like the main brother was IIT Kanpur graduate. So all his friends were also IIT Kanpur graduates and their wives. There was like a big IIT group. So it was like great preaching opportunity, fantastic. so my mentor spoke very nicely about body, soul difference and all. They were all paying attention, asking questions, and this is good. They said, please, can you come one more day? So we came the second day. And they were very, very, inspired and everything. And finally, we saw a crack of smile on the mother's face. Imagine a mother who lost a 21-year-old son, right? And there was a smile. I'm like, good, this is helping. And they said, can you come one more day? And third day in a row, we went, but this time my mentor's son was going in the car with us. And he was only like 5 years old. And he asked his father that, Nana, are these devotees we are going to? And he said, kind of. They are devotees at the core. They're just in the process of cleansing. And I was driving the car. I was like, what a beautiful way to say they're not devotees. They're in the process of becoming devotees, right? Because a child, in his mind, he's not training him to be like, oh, demons, devotees, right? I have seen actually, where people make the distinction, devotees, demons. Everybody else out there, demons. Now, what happens is we talk about this, some video gets leaked out, and guess what ISKCON gets, right? And internally consciousness also, we start thinking they're demons, they're demons. How do you preach to somebody who think they're demons? How does that work? You have to see the divinity within, only then you say there is hope. And thus, this person has the right to go back to Godhead. And it's my duty, because there's nobody else here representing Gaur Nitai, so it's my duty to serve them and reconnect them back to the lotus feet of Krishna, to the degree possible. Does it make sense? Can I get a yes or no? Okay. So that's supposed to be the mentality. Dinabandhu Prabhu, many of you might know him in Vrindavan. He was sharing with us early days of Krishna consciousness. They were in La Cienega Boulevard in Los Angeles. There was a steakhouse where they serve what. And they were distributing books in front of the steakhouse. And suddenly Srila Prabhupada was giving a surprise visit. And his car turned around the corner, and he saw these devotees were distributing books. And Srila Prabhupada actually bowed his head and offered his obeisances to the devotees. Young, hippies who have just become devotees. And Dinabandhu Prabhu's realization he was sharing is like, we have done so much pap that Chitragupta's hard drive probably crashed because of us. And here was a purest of pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, paying obeisances to us of all people, right? And that goes to show what is Prabhupada's mentality, how he sees the world, right? And that's what should inspire us. So this Shringi mentality is actually very detrimental, and I'll tell you why. If you look at Germany, if you look at Singapore, if you look at Indonesia, Bali, there are many places where we used to have thriving ISKCON communities. They don't exist anymore. Now we have to hide in people's apartments. Now we have to say Gujarati community. Now we have to say Indian community. We can't say ISKCON. We have been banned from those places. Why? Because we started saying yogis are demons. So-and-so is demon. Everybody's demon except for us. We are devotees. Might be true. I'm not saying anything. We are in the process of becoming devotees, yes. And there might be demoniac tendencies in other people, yes. Acknowledging that. But at the same time, if we are hitting them with the Bhagavad Gita stick, then how are we different from other religious groups who do the same thing, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could have cut off the heads of Jaga and Mata. He didn't. What did he do? cut off the anarthas. What else? How did he do that? Forgiveness, okay. How did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how did he react to Jagai and Madhai? What did he do for them? Don't whisper. Nobody's judging you. Tell me. Yes, Prabhu. He took all their sins. He transformed them. He gave them Krishna Bhakti and took all the dirty things out of them. How many of you preach in the outreach? That's their job, right? They dig deep into the hearts of people with all the dirty stuff out there, cleansing all of it. I love that imagery of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Have you seen that in the marketplace of holy name? Have you seen it? What is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's role? Do you know? What is Bhaktivinoda Thakur doing in the marketplace of holy name? He has a jharu in his hand. He is cleansing, right? He is actually a janitor in that role. Why? Because he was cleansing all the sahajiyas. He was cleansing all these deviant people who have changed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's system. He's also cleansing the hearts of us, those who are eager to seek the holy name. And what is the price we pay in that holy name market? Faith, eagerness. I want it. That's it. I want Krishna. And the rest is taken care of by the disciplic succession, by our mentors, by our spiritual master, by Krishna himself. He sends, right? Mercy after mercy after mercy keeps coming, so we can fulfill that desire of connecting back with the Supreme Lord. So the point is, what we see here, obviously, Parikshit Maharaj, just like his grandfather, Arjun, was put under illusion so that Bhagavad Gita can be spoken, Parikshit Maharaj was also put under illusion, by Krishna, so Srimad Bhagavatam could be spoken. And anybody on the Brahmanical, elevated nature would be able to tell that that is the situation. This is a great personality. He is not just another Tom, Dick, and Harry king. He's not another politician. He is a pure devotee who doesn't get affected by thirst or hunger. Having said that, this is something very special. Krishna is creating a situation so that Srimad Bhagavatam can be spoken, because, like Shringi, most Brahmanas are going to be like him. Now, let's fast forward a little bit. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He's actually quoted saying that in Kali Yuga, now I'm a Brahmana, so I can say, not Brahman in the sense, I'm born in a Brahmin family. I'm yet to acquire Brahminical qualities. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is also a Brahmin, by the way, Chakravarti is a Bengali Brahmin last name. He says, demons are born in Brahmin families in Kali Yuga. Right? We are supposed to be the highest class, but demons are born. Why? Because it has become politicized. That's what power does. Today, so much conversion has happened in India. Yes, we have been attacked by outside forces. But also understand, we have not done our job as Brahmanas, as Vaishnavas. We have made people feel excluded. You know about that person who, not Nawab Hussain Shah, what's that Muslim king? He sprinkled some water over this, what's his name? Subudhya, right? He went to all these brahmanas, like, I have been sprinkled water by a Muslim king. What do I do? Drink hot lead, drink hot ghee, and all of these, things he was getting. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told him, just chant the holy name, go to Vrindavan and chant the holy name, right? So Mahaprabhu made it easy for us, and that is our role. That is our role, right? As ISKCON, this is the last, I'm quoting His Holiness Badrinaran Swami. ISKCON is the last shining beacon of hope in the age of Kali. Everything else has not been able to stand the test of time. We are the only beacon of hope. So we have the great responsibility to first janma sarthak karo paropakar, right? We have to first take care of ourselves. While we are doing that, we are practicing by giving Krishna consciousness to others. And in that process of giving, receiving from our seniors and giving to others, we have to learn to be humble. That is the highest thing that we have to learn. Because one thing that it does to you, because we are from bright educational institutes, we might be having great qualities and whatnot. The way Maya attacks us is through ahankar, through false ego. That's her secret weapon, not so secret. I'll share something with you. You'll like it. So as I was going through this phase, you heard my story. I started at the age of 19 years old. By 22, $1 million company and all of that, all the glorification, big newspapers, CNN and all, interviewing me. So of course I was arrogant. I was getting proud, right? But Krishna is very kind. My spiritual master, my mentor, they were very, very kind. They were grooming me nicely. And one of my services, because I was making all this pitch decks to present to investors and all, I was good at PowerPoint. So my Guru Maharaj gave me the service of editing PowerPoints for him, for his lectures and different bhajans and whatnot. So this was Janmashtami day, and I'm quite short, as you've seen, so I was dancing. I suddenly turned around, and there was a saffron wall. My Maharaj is very, very tall. I look up, there's Guru Maharaj. My heart kind of stopped. And he doesn't talk much. If you know Paswai Maharaj, he doesn't talk much. He's very straight to the point. He had the flash drive in his hand, and he had a sticky note. He looked at me, put my hand out like this, put the sticky note with the note, and with the flash drive, turned around, walked away. I looked at the sticky note. It said, slide number so-and-so, change this. Slide number so-and-so, change this. 2-3 slides. He was going to give the midnight lecture. So in Chicago, we have like Janmashtami Day. At midnight, right before midnight, there's a lecture, and then the curtains open, and this beautiful arati happening. So it was for that lecture. So I was like, oh, very easy. So I went to the pujari room, turned on my laptop, and I was like, this will take 3 seconds. Arrogance. I turned on the laptop, it won't turn on. It's like going all the way, then shutting off. Going all the way, shutting off. It happens once, twice, 3 times. I'm stupid, so I didn't get it in the first go. 3-4 times this happened, and I stopped. I said, hold on a second. This should not be so difficult. It just worked a few minutes ago. What is happening? Then I looked around. I'm like, I'm in the pujari room. That is non-different from the altar. Okay. This is Janmashtami day. I'm in Krishna's temple. Krishna wants me to learn something. Acha, Hindi preferable? Yes? Okay. So Bhagwan kuch mujhe sikhana chahte hain. So I was like, okay, what do you want me to learn, Krishna? So I paused. I dropped the laptop. I just 30 seconds I'm thinking. And devotees running around thinking, what is this Prabhuji doing in the pujari room with a laptop? I'm just thinking, what do you want me to learn, Krishna? And then thought, okay, I'm being arrogant. And I prayed. So I pray in English, forgive me. My dear Krishna, if you so desired, I'm very stupid and dense. I don't deserve to serve my spiritual master. But if you so desired, kindly allow me this opportunity that I can do this service on Janmashtami day in your temple to please my Guru Maharaj. मैंने laptop को on किया फिर से. It turned on, put in the flash drive, it worked. Took me 3 seconds to edit the slides, took the flash drive out, went to my spiritual master, handed it over to him. Done. I learned a lesson. Like, good, okay. 3-4 days later, again, मुझे एक सर्विस दिया गया. वृंदावन से एक पैकेज आया है भगवान के लिए. So our deities are Shishi Kishore Kishori, the most beautiful deities. So this beautiful dresses have come from Vrindavan. So my mentor, who's a temple president, he said, Ajith, just check the boxes, make sure everything is fine, then seal the box and leave it in the pujari room. मैंने बोला ठीक है कोई बात नहीं. So it'll take me 2 seconds. Again, sense of arrogance, right? So I just stripped off the the tape, and it's like the tape was this thick, but these tiny strips were coming out, right? The whole thing is not coming off. Once, twice, thrice, 3 bar, 4 bar. I'm trying, like, what is going on? The thing won't open, like tight packed. I paused. Where am I? I'm in the pujari room. Okay. My dear Krishna, I'm really unqualified to do this service for you. But if you so desire, my mentor gave me this service. I would like to do this. If you allow me to do this, it would be wonderful. I tried, whole thing comes off. Package opened, checked the dresses, closed it, sealed it, went off. इसके बाद मुझे समझ में आया कि हाँ, you know what? Krishna wants me to be in that consciousness. And that is the Draupadi consciousness I talk about. Govinda, please help. Right? So हमारे life में, I'm an entrepreneur. Anybody entrepreneur in this here? Business people? No? Okay. So if you start a startup, it's a great way to learn surrender. क्योंकि हमारा लाइफ कैसा होता है? ऐसे, 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 ऐसे. Matra sprashastu kwanta shita ushna sukha dukha. You get the realization of it. Roller coaster ride. You make $1 million, you're bankrupt. You make $1 million, you're bankrupt. $10 million, bankrupt. Right? That's how our lives go. Very risky business. So constantly you're in Draupadi mode. Krishna, help! And for me, I'm very stupid. I don't have intelligence. I don't have anything. Many people are gifted. They can sing well, play mridanga, book distribution. मुझे कुछ नहीं करना आता. In fact, I wanted to be a brahmachari once. I begged and pleaded. I wanted to be brahmachari. So my mentor allowed me to stay in the temple for 3 months. मुझे book distribution, I'll be like selling 4 books in 2 hours. Very inefficient. The only thing I can do is this PowerPoint thing. So Guru Maharaj was going to give a presentation in Seattle, on Brahma Samhita. So I was taking all these Jiva Goswami's, writings, and Rupa Goswami's writings, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur's writings, combining them, making synopsis, making them in the PowerPoint. And, growing on that, brahmacharis are looking at me like, what a loser. We are going out for Sankirtan, and look at him. He's sitting there on his computer doing nonsense activities. Anyway, long story short, I got sick, sleeping on the floor and all that. I looked at my spiritual master and asked, I want to be brahmachari. He's like, brahmacharis don't start startups. I got my answer. I'm like, okay. Like, they're supposed to be simple. I'm like, okay, fine. It won't happen. So I gave up that hope. Why was I going there? I had a train of thought. Ups and downs. So I was like, okay, this is my life, so I'll just have to find my path in Krishna consciousness through entrepreneurship only. So I'm not married. I'm a brahmachari in disguise, I can say. Right? In the corporate world. So I'm a spy of Krishna in the corporate world. Very relatable. So, क्या होता है? So there also, this thing happens. So the cryptocurrency boom was happening, 2017. मेरा एक दोस्त ने मुझे बोला, हांगकांग आ जाओ. हमारा एक क्रिप्टो करेंसी कंपनी वी आर अबाउट टू लॉन्च आई वुड लव फॉर यू टू बी देयर. मैंने बोला मुझे पता नहीं ये सब क्या है, गैम्बलिंग लगता है मुझे, आई डोंट डू गैम्बलिंग. लाइक आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, बस आना है, कम फॉर योर फ्रेंड एंड बी देयर. तो मैं गया हांगकांग. जून में शुरू किया था, नवंबर में ही इज डिक्लेयरिंग वी आर $1 billion कंपनी टुडे. आई एम लाइक व्हाट, $1 billion कंपनी इन 6 months, व्हाट्स हैपनिंग हियर, 5 months. सो हम दोनों बैठ के बहुत बातें किए, मैंने पिक्चर्स वर टेकन. फिर एक बिटकॉइन एटीएम था, वहाँ से मैंने पिक्चर लिया, बिटकॉइन एटीएम. तो फेसबुक में डाला, पीपल स्टार्टेड थिंकिंग आई एम एक्सपर्ट ऑन बिटकॉइन. तो दिल्ली आए, एंड दिल्ली में एक इवेंट हो रहा था. देवर अराउंड 1500 अटेंडीज. तो ठीक है, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप, स्टार्टअप्स, वेंचर कैपिटल के ऊपर मुझे बोला जाता है, आई स्पीक, नॉट अ प्रॉब्लम. बट देन दे सेड सर यू हैव टू स्पीक ऑन क्रिप्टो करेंसी, ऑन ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी. मैंने बोला भाई सॉरी, मेरे को ये सब नहीं आता है. नो सर, वी नीड यू बिकॉज one person didn't come and you have to speak on it. I told him no way I'm doing this. I agreed only on entrepreneurship. बोला नहीं सर, प्लीज सेव आवर ग्रेस. मैंने बोला ठीक है. तो मैं गया वहाँ पर. I'm telling you a story of surrender. You must be wondering why is he talking about this. Story of surrender. So, and these people are all PhDs from Singapore, from Germany, from US, from different places. तो एक दूसरे को सब जानते हैं. They're all experts, top-notch people, blockchain technology में, from the all over the world. And they're like looking at me and like, who's this guy? Never seen him before. तो green room में हम लोग बैठे थे. तो मुझे पूछ रहा है, आप कौन हो? मैंने बोला, I'm managing director of Kolkata Ventures. What do you do? I'm a venture capitalist. What are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. The organizers told me to be here. That's why I'm here. They're like all huddled up together. Like, you're the idiot. We are all PhDs. And that was their mentality. Even the anchor looking at me like, what is he doing here? So I was getting all these looks from these people, and I look at the audience, I'm like, Hare Krishna. I looked at the stage, I'm like, what am I doing here? Then I made the stage into an altar. And I said, my dear Krishna, if you so desire, you can make me dance the way you want. You can make me look like a fool, or you can give me some intelligence by which I can speak something that, can benefit the audience. So ये बोल के मैंने, I got on stage. So there were all these people speaking in very hi-fi stuff. And it came to me, because I don't know much, I spoke very simply, whatever little bit I knew, right? And the audience clapped. When we got off the stage, the whole audience was around me, wanting my card and everything. And those guys were standing there like, what is happening? We are the ones with the degrees and everything, and we're not getting any attention. So it was a successful talk, and they congratulated me. The host like, you saved the day, sir. Thank God. Nobody knew what they were talking about. They were yawning. But when you started speaking, everybody was paying attention. Like, thank Krishna. My first TED talk, same thing. It was in Chicago. I told them very categorically, do not put my slot after lunch, because that's when people feel sleepy. I go there, look at the schedule, my slot is after lunch. But I said, "Theek hai, chalo." I sat there through the first half. All these speakers are so erudite. They were so good. मैंने बोला भाई इनके सामने तो मैं कुछ भी नहीं हो. It will be an embarrassment. और the night before एक rehearsal था. और मैंने इतना garbage बोला मैं खुद ही चौकित हो गया कि how can I speak so much garbage? It was currents of relationship. I was like not happening. So lunch break हुआ. I went to Krishna House, where I used to stay at that time. And I told my best friend, Ishodanandan, I'm like, forget it, I'm not going back, I'm not speaking only. I'm super nervous and I don't know what to speak. There's such great people, and that also I told them, don't put my slot after lunch, they put it, I'm not going. He's like, don't do this, big opportunity, TED platform, don't miss out. He realized I'm serious, I'm not going. He texted my mentor. My mentor was in a GBC meeting. So from there he said, remove yourself from the center, do it for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. I was in so stress mode, it was not getting into my head. But whatever my mentor says, I'm like a dog. Whatever he says, I'll do, right? So he says, okay. So they're saying, Avelo Roy, blah, 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 this, that, this business, that business, all that. And I'm like looking at the stage. Again, made it into an altar. Guru and Krishna is there on the altar. And I'm like, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. And somehow I got on stage. I don't know what I spoke. People laughed, they took notes, whatnot. I got off the stage. There were all these people wanting to learn Bhagavad Gita. Now, the interesting thing is, before the TED Talk, they had specifically called me 6 times, telling me, you cannot say those 3-letter word, God. You can't say God, because they knew I'm a ISKCON devotee. They say, you can't say God. I say, can I speak on Bhagavad Gita? Yes, you can speak Bhagavad Gita. Not God. So I gave Bhagavad Gita verses, Bhagavad Gita examples, and all of that. And people came and they wanted to learn Bhagavad Gita. So I was the first person in ISKCON to start a Skype Bhagavad Gita class, right? So people who started watching the TED Talk from around the world started asking me, we want to learn. And I created a whole group online, way before Zoom and pandemic, right? Where people from all over the world came and they were studying Bhagavad Gita with me. I was like, fantastic. So this is what the thing is. I am not a pure devotee. I have zero purity, I'll tell you that. Right? I can't even sit here. I was feeling very weird, like sitting on the Vyasasana. But what is our purity? Prabhupada said, the fact that being a transparent representative of the Guru Shishya Parampara. When you are in that mindset for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, then the mercy of God Nitai can pass through us. Like the glasses, right? Light passes through the glasses. The glasses don't say, look at me, look at me. No. We can see Srila Prabhupada, we can see Gaur Nitai through the glasses more clearly. And that is all we need to do. As I was praying to Srila Prabhupada before saying, I'm like, please, my dear Srila Prabhupada, don't let any glory come to me. Let me be transparent. Let all the glory go to the Supreme Lord. If you allow me, use my vocal cord in your service. And that's all we can ask for. And the rest is in Krishna's hands, really, right? So I'm giving you practical examples because I'm trying to showcase that the Shringi mentality versus, even for a fool like me, if we follow Srila Prabhupada's words, even if you're not pure devotees, it is possible to transform hearts just by being transparent representative. What is our purity? Our only purity is na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kabaya. It's nothing for me, everything for Krishna. I genuinely want to serve Srila Prabhupada's movement. I genuinely want to serve the Vaishnavas who have, brought me here. And in reciprocation, in gratitude, I want to give it forward. And that's all that matters. Rest, Lord Gauranga does. There was a person named Alex. So in Chicago temple, I had multiple services. One of them was greeting new devotees. This guy's like super tall. He's like, have you seen He-Man? He's literally He-Man. Like his chest is this big. He's like all well-built, gym fit guy. Very gentle. We start talking, start preaching to him. He's Russian by birth, but American citizen. And slowly, I bring him to Krishna house. We're talking. And then I find out he's kleptomaniac, which means he has addiction to stealing. right? Addiction to stealing. So, theek hai. We started preaching and everything. He would bring bhoga for the Lord, and he would learn Bhagavad Gita. We would chant and everything. And slowly, slowly, he was transforming. And, to make long story short, Lord Chaitanya's mercy, this is how it works. The person who had addiction to stealing, he got a job with the security department first, and then Chicago Police Department. Chor se police. I have seen this happen over and over and over and over and over again. So I have complete faith in the transformative powers of God Nitai. So the point is, what I'm trying to get here, you guys are all erudite devotees. I don't have to tell you anything. But the thing is, Shringi mentality kicks in because of Maya Devi. And it is very easy for it to come up. And no one will tell us. You know who will? Our friends, our equals. They can see. So when you see somebody and you have that depth of relationship, wake them up and tell them, Maya Devi is kicking in. You're getting into Shringi mentality. It might be nice if you tone down a little bit, right? When we hear it from our friends, we actually acknowledge it. Because superiors, we're in the best behavior with them. They won't see us, but the friends see that, right? Juniors can't tell us, but friends see. That's the role of a friend, is to wake us up. Hey, Prabhu, I'm seeing you're becoming a little arrogant. Maybe tone it down a bit. It's not you, it's the Lord, right? So how much time do I have? 7:45 I have to stop, so 10 minutes I have. Okay. Okay. Does that include Q&A? Okay, so 10 minutes is, so I'll just maybe stop here and see if there are any questions you have. Okay. Is there any questions, or else I'll continue? Continue? Okay. All right, more stories? So now that we understand, right, we need reminders that it is not us, it is the Supreme Lord. And we are the glasses. So I'll share one more story that will help you understand this. There was a Brahmana. And this Brahmana was very pakka in terms of doing, Trisandhya and doing all the rituals. And he was a complete, everything was perfect about him. One afternoon, during the noon period when he's supposed to Gayatri, he was sleeping. And Durga Devi personally came to wake him up. He got up and he started doing his Sandhya, his Gayatri and everything. And then the thought came to him, it's like, how come Maya Devi is, she woke me up. What is her interest? Because she should be putting me in slumber mode. And he started meditating on that. And then Maya Devi apparently came in his dream and said, well, your pride lies in the fact that you're such a pakka Brahmana, following on the rules and rituals perfectly. And I want you to stay that way because that is my Maya. If you had slept through, you would have felt bad. You would have become humble. Then it would be difficult for me to penetrate through. So now that you're proud, I can easily, take you away from Krishna's lotus feet, right? So if you look at these trees, even the last leaf, which is the furthest from the root, is getting nourished because it is connected to the root. We are on the second or third floor. First floor, okay. But if you see tallest of tall trees, as long as they're connected, there's no pump, there is nothing. But the fact that they're connected to the root, there is nourishment going. The moment they get disconnected, the green leaf becomes yellow, then brown, and it perishes. And I've seen devotees falling from the altar. Pujari, doing wonderful service, studying Bhagavatam, doing all this. Next thing you know, on Facebook, I'm seeing pictures of alcohol. I'm like, what just happened? What happened? Apparently, something was brewing within for a long time, right? We can't see it. And that is why it's important to be honest. So now I told you the negative side of it. What is the antidote to this poison? The antidote to this poison is be brutally honest with your counselor, with your trusted, gohyamakhiti prachati, right? When you're building devotee relationships, be shameless with your mentor and spiritual master, whoever is guiding you, right? That's what I am. My mentor tells others, like, be shameless like Ajith. That's one of my names, shameless like Ajith. So the shameless part helps you. Just like when you go to the doctor, you don't hide facts. When you go to a lawyer, you don't hide. If you're a criminal, you'll tell everybody, I'm not guilty. But you'll tell your lawyer, I'm guilty. You fix it. So same thing with your mentor, with your counselor, with your spiritual authority. Open up that I have envy. I'm dealing with lust. I'm watching pornography. I'm addicted to something. Please help me. Hopefully they're not judgmental, right? They shouldn't be. Most people who are in counselor position, are there because they're not judgmental. They understand you are different from your behavior. And if you're a counselor, please do that. Separate the behavior from the person, so people feel comfortable opening up to us. Otherwise, it becomes judgmental. Oh, really? And the next thing you know, it's gossip, 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 gossip. And the devotee is never found. Right? It happened with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. There was one devotee who fell down, and there was all this gossip in Gaudiya Math, and he left the temple. And Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Math was going to be opened up, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, I will not go unless that devotee comes. And all the devotees were like, how do we find him in Calcutta? Somebody said, oh, I remember he used to do some watch repair. So they went to all the watch repair shops in Calcutta and finally found this guy. And he was hiding when he saw the devotees. He said, no, don't hide, don't hide. Prabhupada wants to see you. He said he will not come to the opening of Gaudiya Math temple unless you are there. He said, really? And he started crying. And transformed. And he gave up that bad habit, whatever happened. That's the transformative nature of Krishna consciousness. So, Lord Chaitanya, although wanted to take out the chakra, Lord Nityananda stopped him. Lord Nityananda's mood is transform the heart. Srila Prabhupada's mood is transform the heart. Our spiritual master's mood is transform the heart. That is what we do here. We don't judge. We don't hurt. We don't make things difficult. Radhanath Maharaj was giving us such a beautiful lecture. He was sharing about a certain sannyasi, a god brother of his, who came into the Chowpatty temple, and some new bhaktas, they paid obeisances to him while the altar was open. And this god brother of Radhanath Maharaj chastised them like anything. Like, how dare you? Have you not read Bhakti Rasabhita Siddhu? You should not pay obeisance to anyone but your spiritual master in front of the deities. And Radhanath Maharaj was sitting there. And he's sharing that I was thinking in my mind, what is more detrimental? Breaking, one of the rules and rituals given in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or breaking the hearts of devotees. Right? So that's something we have to keep in mind, because rules and rituals we might be good at, and that makes us impersonalists. क्या आप में से किसी ने देखा impersonalism within our devotee communities? Have you noticed it? No? Very good. I'm a fault finder. I sometimes see it, unfortunately. Right? When I was in the Bhaktivedanta manor, every devotee got out of their way. If they pass by, they'll be like, Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhaktivedanta manor. I'm like, wow, how nice. I said, is this a culture here? They're like, yeah, this year we have a theme, Atithi Devo Bhava. So anytime they see a new person come in, they'll go out of the way to say, Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhaktivedanta manor. I'm like, I wish every temple would do that. That is personalism, right? But sometimes we are like, we see devotees and we're like, What does Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu say? If you see initiate a devotee, pay obeisances. If you see a sannyasi, pay obeisances. If you cannot do that, at least in your mind pay obeisances. At least greet them with a smile. That's the least we can do. That's personalism. So all the things we're reading here, it might look they're far away. हमारे ISKCON में तो नहीं होता है. But look within, you might find it. You might. Thank God if it is not there. But be aware, Maya Devi is always out there. She's a very sincere servant of Krishna. Thankless job, but that's her job. And she's powerful. She has 10 hands. And we have to be careful. She's powerful, so we should be careful. Stay connected to Guru and Krishna. Be shameless in front of your mentor. Get guided. Take the blessings. Always pray to Krishna. My dear Krishna, I'm a fool. I'm dense. Please help me. Draupadi mode. No matter how gifted you are, Draupadi mode. Govinda, please help. I've been given this service, this trusted service. Please allow me to do this service. You will see mercy flows. Gaurnitai can do anything. Anything. It didn't end with Jagai Madhai. It's continuing with all of us. It's continuing with all of us. I'll end with this last story of transformation. So in Chicago, I started Krishna House, Krishna Lunch, Krishna Talk. So Krishna Talk is a philosophy thing where Indian students come, एक घंटा philosophy only Indians can, take on. Westerners cannot. तो मैंने देखा हमारे college newspaper में, there was one girl, she wrote about soul, karma and all that. And I asked the student, like, go find out who she is. Where is she getting her knowledge from? Turns out it was from a Mayavadi organization. I said, invite her to our Krishna talks. She came to Krishna talk, and she would literally, she would just sit like this. The whole time you're speaking here, her head will be down here. For weeks, I never talked to her. Slowly, head started moving towards the speaker, right? I'm like, okay, now she is feeling comfortable. I asked her, I read your article, इसीलिए मैंने आपको invite किया यहाँ पर आने के लिए. आपको अच्छा लगता है हमारा Krishna talks? She said, हाँ प्रभु जी बहुत अच्छा लगता है, and I really enjoy it. मैंने बोला फिर okay, would you like to write about this in the school newspaper? उसने बोला हाँ प्रभु जी लिखेंगे. The first day she wrote, her writing was not up to the mark. I said, can I make some changes? She said, sure. I rewrote the whole thing. I gave it to her. And she put it in the newspaper, they published it. Every week this would happen. I would speak Krishna talk, she would write it, from her whatever she understood. I would kind of, polish it, she would give it. And in her name, the school newspaper would put it out there. Finally, her parents got to know this is happening. So parents ने बता दिया, कुछ नहीं करना इन लोगों के साथ, ISKCON वाले, they're this and that. Stopped. The editor-in-chief of the newspaper called her up. Hey, I look forward to your writings every week. Why did you stop? She felt encouraged because nobody asked her that. Later on, I found out, Down syndrome पता है? Down syndrome, so it's like that kind of thing. So she was borderline Down syndrome. She was triplet. तीनों बच्चे के borderline Down syndrome है. मतलब they're socially awkward, किसी से बात नहीं कर पाते, आंखें मिला के, they're not very good in studies, they're not very good in anything really, right? Such a person getting appreciation and getting editor-in-chief calling her, I want your writing. Next time she was there in Krishna talk. Started paying attention, started chanting, transforming. So she would chant in the college. क्योंकि घर जाके chant करेंगे तो parents would give her the sauce. She was transforming. Then Krishna's lunch में, she started serving prasadam. Now she was getting all the Mataji's association. Fantastic. Slowly, she is evolving. Then she fell in love with me and I told her, not possible, thank you very much. Right? And we created that distance and all. But care was there, devotee care was happening. And by the time she graduated, this keeps happening with me. And by the time she graduated, she said, Prabhuji, I have 3 job offers. Right? I am speaking at the interviews like a normal person. She was transformed. You can see the girl who came in with the head down and the girl she was now is different. And a year ago, she wrote to me on LinkedIn that, Prabhuji, I'm married and I'm having a normal life. And it is all because of Krishna consciousness. Her 2 other brothers, the triplets, they all were born together. They were all Down syndrome. They were not like that. They're still Down syndrome, still, in that mode. But she transformed, she changed. When you see stories like this, like over and over again, Alex, from thief to Chicago police, from Down syndrome to a high-performing individual, you understand that not everybody will become devotees. But the seed of bhakti is so powerful. It can transform lives. And if there's a little bit of gratitude, they will come back. Even if it is the time of death, they will think of Krishna with gratitude. And many devotees have left ISKCON. Many devotees. But at the time of death, when they hear they have cancer, they have a tumor, whatever else, they come back. Sudama Maharaj, he left ISKCON. He was so powerful. Japan, Philippines, country by country, he was establishing ISKCON. But somehow, somebody gave him a restaurant. He took that and he said, this is my restaurant. And he left. It became his thing. Went into rock and rolls, AIDS and whatnot. Right before death, he calls up Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Is it possible I can die in Krishna consciousness? Yes, of course, brother. Please come. He was given a devotee to take care of him. He was passing urine and stool. She was taking care of all of that. He died with Govardhan Shila in one hand, with Tulsi in his lips, hearing the holy name of Krishna. And his last breath, he said, Prabhupada, you have come. And he left his body. Right? All the services he's done, Prabhupada didn't forget. So we have to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness. People might stay, might not stay forever. but know for a fact that seed is not going anywhere. It's a time bomb. It is going to fructify, and they are going to meet Krishna face to face one day. Eshe Vrindavane Radhe Shame Pave Darshan, Gaur Kripa Hole Re. So Lord Gauranga is causelessly merciful. He doesn't look at any qualifications. He just gives. He's illogically merciful. Lord Jagannath is illogically merciful. So the moment you connect them, your work is done. Now watch the magic happen. There might be ups and downs, but people who are connected to the Supreme Lord, they are going back home, back to God. And in this life or in 100 lifetimes, that's our role. And that's our inspiration. And that's our responsibility. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes, Prabhuji. Test it. Talk about somebody else and see how they react. That Prabhuji, this friend of mine, he's going through this phase. How would you suggest I, take care of him? See if that judgmental nature is coming out or the merciful nature is coming out, right? Then you can feel comfortable sharing your own heart. It's surprising, ISKCON Pune, it's the first time coming to Pune, but there have been so many brahmacharis who have reached out to me saying that, Prabhuji, I want to move out of brahmacharya ashram, get married, but then I'm scared to tell my authorities and whatnot. Can you keep it confidential? Can I get some guidance from you how I can start a business or how I can do this and that? It's sad that they don't feel comfortable sharing with their seniors, but it is a reality. So in case you see that there is a judgment, resource yourself. This is one thing I've seen Prabhupada disciples do. Because they are so senior, they don't have people up there to reach out to. So they resource themselves with other God brothers, senior God brothers, who they take guidance from. So in case your seems like whatever you're sharing would be judged, then find somebody who's not judgmental and open up to that person, right? First test, see that if the trust, the path is there, and then find that person. Krishna will help you, But yeah, those are the steps I would follow if I were in your shoes. Does that answer your question? Okay. Anything else? Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Go on YouTube, search Avelo Roy or Ajith Das, and you'll find around 300 videos that I've uploaded. And Hare Krishna TV also has a lot of my Hindi lectures. So you can see those there. I'll take it as a blessing, so I'll keep uploading more videos. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Okay. Anything else? Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we are very grateful to His Grace Ajith Das Prabhu, spared his time and giving his association and wonderful lecture on how we can be move away from the Shringi mentality and come to the Draupadi mentality. So we are very grateful to him. We'll thank him by in our traditional style by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.